back. I thought I was recording, and then I figured it wasn't. Figured it out. So this is my 9x12 book with Artesia, I think it's called Artesia. Sorry, watercolor paper, and it's hard to see because it's so pale. But what I did was did a green wash on this paper, drew some numbers. I pulled out some stencils I've had for 300 years, and obviously created a background with numbers. And then my thought was I don't know what my thought was, honestly. I think I was thinking maybe I'd do a little negative shape painting. I don't know. I had one other idea, and then I just kind of abandoned it. But I don't think I had a clear idea what to do next. I think I'm going to go the way I'm babbling, but I think I'm going to go the way of negative shape painting. But I've never done it this way before, which is why I'm kind of hesitating, because I'm going to be not repeating the same pattern, which is what I've done in the past with other iconography. You know, you do hearts or leaves or whatever, but this is going to be different numbers, because I'm not going to put a 6 on top of a 6. I'm just going to, my thought process now is that I'm going to just move the numbers all around the page as I go, which could, lead to, maybe I shouldn't have done this many numbers to start. I don't know. We're playing. Isn't that what we always do, though? That's what I try to always do. Play a little bit, and I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, but I'm using some greens and a palette. A lot of these and this little guy here are Schminkies. This is a palette, the Schminky Super Granulating, I should say. This is a palette I'm trying to use up. This plastic monstrosity that will not go away. I seem to just keep ending up with these, more of these colors, and I'm trying to keep this fairly pale, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here painting. Turned on my camera. Turned to a fresh page. That's all I can tell you. Oh, new camera setup. Ooh, watch this. You can see me paint from the side. How fun is this? Trying to keep it super watery so it's not super dark. Now you can see it from there. I don't know if we like that better. Seems like there's a bit of a glare right now, so I don't know. Maybe I need to look at that. So we'll go back to this. Anyway, that's what we're doing. Just a paint and chat kind of day. And I'm just playing with one of my favorite colors, green. I like all the colors, let's be honest. I'm a rainbow girly. I like different colors on different days depending on my mood. So here I am, just adding paint and creating some hard lines where I don't want them, because that's how watercolor works, especially when you got a novice like me doing it. So hopeful that with the different colors of greens and not keeping it homogeneous. So I've got some blue greens and some spring greens and some. I sprayed this down, but it swears it's not acting like it. Alright, you get another sploosh of water. With all these different greens, I'm hoping they will make an interesting layering situation as we go forward, because obviously we'll put more colors on top and more numbers on top, and then I don't know, I might have messed this up because I didn't leave myself any space for the future letters to go, but numbers to go, but I don't know. I just hang tight. We'll just kind of have to see. We're just gonna have to see. I love numbers. Didn't know I loved them until, I don't know, last few years. I really think I figured out that I love putting numbers in my work. And I love my work centered around numbers and to some degree. Especially when I'm like dealing with paper arts and fiber arts, which I do in addition to watercolor. But I don't use numbers in my watercolor very much. So I guess I just thought, maybe today's the time. I know there's some sap greens over here and some oh, my brain just went somewhere else. I don't know where it went. Sap greens over there for sure. Another game I was thinking of, but now I lost it. There's some people working outside and I keep hearing their conversations, so I keep getting distracted. No, I'm not eavesdropping. But you know, when you catch a word or two, you just your ear goes whoop, or my antenna does, maybe yours doesn't. See, I got a hard line there. I don't know if I'm going to try to get that hard line out, or I'm just going to let it be. I know in the past when I've done negative, I have not enjoyed having hard lines. I've tried to avoid them. But I didn't set out for this to be a negative. I set out to be this to be a, I don't know, something else. Here we are. Here we are. This little one's got a funny little whoop-de-doo. Yeah, that's a very official term. And I am trying to be a little precious going around these numbers, but not super so. And maybe I don't do negative. Maybe what I do is I come back and do a do each of these numbers in a darker color or their own color. It might be what I do actually. So I'm spending all this time. Alright, well, we're just going to keep going. But now I care more about how the background looks. But, wow, that's really blue or something. Alright, we'll fix it. We'll fix it. It's not a problem. It is not. I really love these Schminkies, these super granulating. Ugh, they might be my favorite paint to use right now for greens. I know Daniel Smith's got a Cascade green that I really like and a Serpentine that I like too. But what I like about these Schminkies is it's a set of I think 5, and I'm not trying to influence anybody, I'm just talking while I paint. But the 5 have a really nice range of colors. So you get the, and because they're granulating, of course I'm loving that, but with the 5 you get like an olive and a brown green and a you just get a nice range of greens, which is great when you're trying to do a mixed background or just an interesting background. Like maybe this is what we're doing here. Yeah, maybe I'll just paint each of the numbers their own color of Schminky green. Oopsie. Oh well. I won't care so much about that now if we're going to paint the numbers and not have negative space. Maybe we doodle. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do now that I'm getting into this. I think I'm just going to paint the background. I should have just probably gone over it with the whole. Alright, so then why are we getting precious with this? Okay, we're shifting. See, this is what you do. You shift, and you go, alright, change. So now we're going to go just a tad darker. That's definitely an olive. Now let's grab a blue. because that background was just too pale before. Yeah, I'm messy. Look at this. Let's go back to this camera so you can see, and I'm just going to go over all of it. But this could be fun. The part of it was done with some of the colors, and then some of that blue to put in here, and then we're gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna just start doing individual. I'll clamp this back because I want it to not buckle on me too much. Then we'll come back and do individual numbers and make just this big, because I like the layout. All right, back in a bit. Well, for you it'll be a sec. Let's start painting in some of these numbers and see how we feel. Now, obviously, I got a dark spot here in the middle. We'll just deal with that one at a time. That's all I know how to do. I know I made a mess under there. Oh well. We're gonna grab this first color, and I could pull out my schminkies and see what this color is, but we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna switch this camera, see how we like it. And we may end up glazing these multiple times. I don't know. I'm still trying to decide what the concept of this piece is going to be. As you can tell, I'm kind of shifting as I go here. I'm using a round brush, which is oftentimes my go-to for these little pattern exercises, or whatever we're going to call this. But I like it because it holds. This particular size is a size 10. Don't go by the numbers though. If you're looking at brushes, just go by the size, because the more bristles, it's going to tell you it's going to hold more water. It's just that simple. But I like it when it can hold a medium amount of water. I don't like it too soppy wet, or pigment for that matter. It's that Goldilocks ratio, right? Not too much, not too little, just right. Find your Goldilocks brush. And that'll probably be your go-to brush more times than it isn't. Then you'll have specialty brushes for other things, but this is my Goldilocks brush. And I'm just going to kind of move around this palette because I've got, I've got my Schminkies in here. I'm pretty sure I've got some Daniel Smith in here too. But I'm just going to utilize, these are the granulating ones. I really have said it before, I'll say it again, I need to do a better job of labeling my palettes when they're like this. I label my containers like my big palettes, but alright, moving on. But when I do these little mixing palettes, I don't always label them. These little ceramic ones. And I should. Well, I could. I'm not a big fan of this color, but I'll just keep going. It's a little too hunter green for me. We may have to do multiple glazes so that I can make sure this background disappears on us too. That could be fun. Sometimes a project takes you in a different direction, and this one sure did. I think I've had 3 different ideas in my head before I even turned the camera on. But none of them a fully formed idea, which is the problem. I just was walking past these stencils and I saw them and I thought, I love those. Why don't I use those more? And thus a project was born-ish. Okay, now let's move on down the pike. We're gonna go back to this camera for a bit. Sorry, I should have been paying attention. I've got it on a monitor where I can't see it in front of me. I need to set up my arrangement a little differently so I have a better view of what you're seeing. So I don't have to think to look over my shoulder. Man, these lights are really getting picked up by these new cameras, aren't they? The shine from the water is... the struggle is real. Well, that's a good color next to that darker blue green going on there, so that's good. Don't want to be super saturated. None of these will dry lighter. Really do want these to be a glaze and not a pigment pile. Pile of pigment. Also trying to go fairly quickly because I'm trying to make the glaze, since this isn't great paper, the paper kind of soaks up the different, I don't know, just I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't always go on like you like, and so alright, number 4 on my palette, that is. Fourth color. Try to thin this out a little better. Don't want that on this one. Well, here we go anyway. I blurbed it. Way to go. Hey, it's watercolor, not rocket science. We're having fun here. This set did not come with a 9, so I just turned the 6 upside down, which is, you know, you think about it, you go, well, duh. But for a while, I go, well, where's the 9? Where's the 9? And it hit me. Hello. I'm sure M&W is the same way. I didn't look. Stick my finger in that one. One thing about going fast is you see, you make mistakes like that, but again, this is watercolor. I'll probably outline it at the end anyway. Just because I think that sometimes looks nicer. When you do a piece like this, it'll help it stand out from the background. I might even grab some colored pencils to like deepen and shape, you know, offer some shadows and shading. I don't know. We will see. Okay. Moving on to pigment 5, which is this guy, which I recall this guy one of my faves. I'm gonna do him down here. And I can pull my Schminky box out. And kind of tell you what these colors are, if somebody wants to know. I've been exploring my supplies, you know, using my stash, trying to avoid being influenced by other colors that come out and other products that are available. You go on social media at all, everybody's, you know, influencer is not limited to beauty, fashion. Okay, this guy. Let's see. I think this is brown. I think this is green brown by Schminky. It's very distinct in its color. Alright, I'm going to turn this ever so slightly because my hand does not like this angle. Maybe I should have glazed the background with a different color. Nah. It's fine. A bit of this so you can see how I'm going up on the dried up so fast. Okay. Some of these look disturbingly identical, but what are you gonna do? Alright, let's see. I got one more over here. What's this guy? I don't know. This might be a Daniel Smith color. I'll find out. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm already into 2 Daniel Smith colors here. Oh well. Ooh, that's thick. Hmm. Thick is in the pigment color. Pigment load is thick. See, it's already dried out. I know, I should do this on better paper. That looks like Cascade green right there. Okay. Now what? Let's grab some of these other buckets of questionable colors, and you know what else? I'm going to grab some of this over here too. I think I've got some phthalo blue green shade over here. I'm gonna. Yep, that's what that looks like. I'm gonna try to keep this from being too blue. A little bit of blue peeking through is fun. Do love blue and green mixed, don't you? Or a little bit of blue added to the green. Look at that. Love that. That makes me very happy. Alright, let's do that again, but with this color. Ooh, too much blue. Let's see what we get here. Suddenly have Sesame Street counting to 12 and the Ladybug Picnic stuck in my head. Whoever gave me that, thanks. It was not what I wanted for my earworm today. Maybe I'll go back and do a background with like maybe add some texture. No, it's too late for texture, but I don't know. Maybe add something of interest to the background. I don't know what yet. I'm shooting from the hip here. It's not always a good thing, but here we are. See how much that's drying. Okay. Last number, number 2. Let's just grab some greens. mix it here first. I do that all the time. And then I get too much, and then I'm too busy trying to undo it. Yeah, well, welcome to my brain where I just don't want to be patient. Like, oh, blue, let's grab it. I love blues. I love greens. I love blues and greens together. Watch it. It'll be my favorite part. The part where I went, and I'm thinking crisis. Okay. Numbers painted. We like it. We're not sure we're done. We're going to let things dry and then figure out what's next. So where we are now is obviously, I've zoomed down a little bit. We've got a got some hard lines here, and I've let this sit for a little bit because I haven't been sure what I wanted to do next. I'm over here just kind of wetting my palette while I'm talking. Part of me was thinking that maybe I wanted to just do another glazing layer over the background, but I don't want it to go too crazy because I do like the current contrast, but I just don't like some of these harsh lines. So I was just going to kind of do a little repair and see if that's something we can do. I've got a filbert here, and I'm just going to kind of see if I can scrub and just create kind of a change to where this background is a little less. Now this is wood pulp, or this is, not good paper, as I mentioned before, so I don't want to go too crazy with it. But I'm thinking I'll do the same thing when I get like cauliflowers. I'll just come back and glaze over and see if I can get a little less. The other thing I could do, a little less harsh lines. I didn't finish that thought. The other thing I could do, and I probably will do, is I may add to the background just a like pen work or some Zentangle work or something like that, which might be just as helpful as what I'm doing now. But I took the clamps off, and now this paper's bending. Better put them back on, or I'm gonna have regrets here. Just using some bowl clips to hold it flat. Alright, let's see. This may not make me happy, so I may end up needing to do. So what I might end up doing is like use a stencil to do a pattern over the background, or line work, like with the Zentangle kind of approach. I'm probably going to outline these numbers with some gold or some black. I kind of already decided on that. But, what they say is if you don't like it, it means it needs more. So I'm adding more to this background to see if I can like it a little better. And, maybe we do, maybe we don't, maybe we still dislike it. Let's put some more in this because this feels so white. It's not, it's a really pale green, but let's just give it another glaze just so it doesn't feel so much like the red-headed stepchild over there sticking out like a sore thumb. No shade on red-headed people. I have a red-headed son, so I love redheads. He was freckle-faced when he was a kid. He lost those as he grew up, became an adult, but his freckles sure were cute. Okay. Let's see if we can. This might not even show up, so this might be a little bit of future. And this is part of watercolor, having lines is part of watercolor. That's why some people hate it, is they can't blend them very well. I get that. I understand it. Sometimes I like them. Sometimes I embrace these lines, and sometimes, like now, I'm trying to not eradicate them, but soften them at least. Okay, that might do it. Do a better job adding a little of the greeny blue there. And by greeny blue, that means I had green in my brush and I dipped it into phthalo blue to create a little. I just want to make it a little less obvious where those harsh lines were. I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. So let me get my blow dryer out and I'll dry that and I'll be right back. I pulled out some stencils. I've got a whole bunch of them here. These are all Tim Holtz stencils, and I was trying to think, and I activated some gold watercolor over here. Got like a pale gold and a champagne and a yellow and a blue gold. I discuss amongst yourselves. I don't know which one's which. But I pulled out a bunch of different stencils that I thought, well, that might be a bit too much. This one looked good. That one looks funky. Anyway, I've got a bunch of them sitting over here. I have no idea which gold I really wanted to use. Probably ought to test it now that I'm sitting here thinking out loud, but you only live once. Wait, I put it away. Stop, come back. This one is 168. And then what I'm going to do here is just, well, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to paint. I'm not going to paint the numbers. I think I'm going to go with the pale to start. Oops, sorry, my hand's in the way there. I'm going to go with the pale because I really want it to be the background, not the focal point. Focal point should be the numbers. So I think, so I've dumped a bunch of water in the sky here. Oh, I can't feel it. This is the pale. You just have to trust me. And then I'm going to just follow the edge of perforation just so I can keep it not straight but just consistent-ish. Let's just see how this gold, this pale looks. We're not going to be precious with it. At least we're going to try not to be. I'm going to kind of swirl the painty on. And I've got like a little number 3 here. And I'm just going to be avoiding the number. So right here, like right here, I'm just going to go all the way up to the edge of the number and then go, nope, denied, no more. And because this is kind of overwatered, user error, I mean, I dumped too much water in it, but that's okay. Some areas are going to be a bit more sparkly and other areas a bit less. But it's just meant to add another layer of contrast. And I hate the word interest. It's a correct word. I just don't know why. It's on a chalkboard. I mean, I guess I hear people overuse it. Let's see. And we're not being too precise. This keeps it from being, I love to be the abstract artist that just goes, oh, a little swirl here and a little swirl there, and then it comes out looking amazing. And that is not me. The stencil helps me achieve what I cannot do organically yet. Maybe in time that will get better, but the stencil over top is my saving grace. I may go off camera here a little bit, but that's just gonna have to do. I'm not gonna adjust the camera just for a 2-second shot here. Just trust me that I'm still. See, I'm just kind of holding it down with my fingers, and more or less hitting the spots. Since this is a kind of a this is a very organic stencil, it really isn't going to matter, but it helps just give me structure more than anything, because it's just going to show me where I should add more, and then once I take it up I may even add more after that. But I was kind of stuck about what to do next, and I've been sitting here going, I don't know, but add another layer. That's always I thought about adding a darker green and then putting gold on the letters. Maybe I'll still do that, But then I'm in my Klimt era, I think, and I'm enjoying the gold. So let's do this and just see where we are. And if we hate it, we can add another layer, right? I will tell you, my hand's starting to cramp a little bit. I'm holding pretty tight. Maybe loosen your grip there, Mosley. Alright. So some of these spots I'm dipping in, I'm getting a whole lot of gold, and other spots I'm just getting a whole lot of water. Probably should have like agitated it and mixed it all up. That probably would have been a smarter move. Get a more consistent gold, but here, I'll sweat it. No, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Because to me, the fun part about this is just kind of playing what if. So this is a sketchbook. This is a place to meant to play, right? Of course, right. And I didn't start at the top. I just kind of, I don't want it to be too obvious that I squished. It's meant to be a pattern. I want to avoid the obvious patterns, I guess what I was trying to say. Alright. Nooks and crannies. I could use tape. Don't want to. I'm not that precious with my practice. Now, if I go to make a bigger piece or a more finished piece, would I use tape? Maybe. I'm just playing around. And watercolor tends to seep under stencils anyway, so even if you tape it down, you've got no guarantee that it's gonna. And I kind of like that aspect, honestly. Alright, so I believe this is champagne gold. I'll look at it here in a second. Now I'm gonna switch to an overhead view so you can see. And there's definitely some spots that got missed. Nope, let's go back to this view. There's definitely some spots that are not okay. So they flash a little bit as you see. There you go. That's a good view. So depending on how you look at it, depends on how much gold you see. So it's yeah. We'll carry on. So let's Now comes the question of, do I lay it over top and smudge that, or do I lay it over top? Or do I put a gap and then leave a gap? I don't like that idea. See, I'm inclined to go here, but then it's going to leave a gap with this little band, this little frame. But then there's some really wet spots here still, so if I lay this over top and kind of like here, it's going to... Yes, that's very official. Alright, we're just going to go for it. We're going to... Actually, I think I'm going to move it up, and I just already saw where I spudged it, but you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I am going to put this here, and I'm going to use a little bull clip right there. Sorry, I got my brush in my mouth. Okay. It's like someone trying to talk while they're brushing their teeth. Not good. And you know what? Yep, some of that's going to mess around. Just don't want it on the number. It's not the end of the world if it's on the number, but I don't know what I'm going to do with the numbers yet, so I'm trying not to... Oh, no, you know what? I need to move it ever so slightly. Because, yeah, we're going to overlap. That's what we're doing, people. We're overlapping and we're not going to overthink the ink. As my mentor and BFF in spirit says, Mr. Tim Holtz. We don't know each other, I'm just saying. He's my spirit animal creator. I'm sorry, my hand was in the way. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm overhead. I need to move that monitor so I can tell where I am. Alright, we'll go back to 1. I think 1's better shot, except I'm out of shot. Boop. Okay. Now this is the area I just darkened a little bit, so I'm going to make sure I get a nicely amount of sparkly to go in this, so it shows. Just violated the very thing I said I wasn't going to do, which is get precious with it. But I'm just being mindful. That's not the same as being precious. Not really. Avoiding the numbers. I love the thought of experimenting, but then sometimes I get in here and I get crippled by what's next, you know? And by crippled, I just mean, it's not a fear of messing up. It's just I don't know what would look good. But then that goes back to the fear of messing up, I suppose. Because you just don't know if you don't experiment, right? But you don't want to experiment because you don't know. It's a hamster wheel of doom. That's what that is. And I am sorry to say I sometimes fall victim to it like anybody else. I'm not immune. And as my dear friend and sister from a different mister would say, Dawn, it's just paper. And she's absolutely right. It's just paper. And you can always come back to it later and add more layers, right? I've got another piece I'm working on that I've already recorded, and I already know I want to do a part 2. I already know I want to come back and add to it because I've looked at it now. You know, you let it sit for a couple of days, and I look at it now and I go, no, I need to doodle on top. And because some of these are so faint over here, I may end up coming back and doing the, you know, touching them up a little bit, or we just leave them as they are. Stay tuned. Okay. I do know that these paints that I'm using here are better if you drop a bunch of water in them. By a bunch, I just mean like a little pipette, a couple drops of water, and you let them sit, let them activate. Especially when you're dealing with the gold. I think that's the metallic, any of the metallics. They have a whole line of metallics, and I think the metallics are especially better when you let them get soft from the water. And the nice thing about playing around with watercolors is if you get paint, which I'm getting gold paint on this stencil very easily, it all comes off with water. You just take it to the sink and rinse it, or spray it with a little water and blot it gently with a paper towel. You're back to one. If that bothers you. I'd probably just leave the gold on it, except next time you go to do something, the gold could get activated with your next piece. If you're using acrylic, it'll dry and you're done. And I do mixed media, so I go back and forth. I use acrylic and watercolor. Because sometimes watercolor just isn't enough. You know, there's not enough punch to it. And you want acrylic. That's why I use like Posca pens and gel pens and things like that. But then I also can use acrylic paint. Okay, I feel like I'm being a little more precious with this one, but I feel like I'm getting better coverage too, because I'm making sure my paint is well activated on my brush. Well loaded, I should say. think I hadn't stirred it up enough before. This is gonna be cute. Cute. My Klimt era is in full swing. I'm enjoying. The gold. And then once I come back and take this off, if I find that there's like areas that just, for whatever reason, the stencil didn't do very well, didn't give me the coverage I want, I can just add dots or stripes or triangles or whatever to that area. Alright, there's that one. Now what I'm going to do is just like lift it here so you can kind of see. Oh yeah, you can see the pattern in there pretty well, can't you? Yeah. I like that it doesn't all just jump out at you. Okay, let's move on. Let's come back down here. Let's just overlap ever so slightly down here and just fill in the pattern going down. Now I'm not going to totally, actually I'm going to go down just a bit. There we go. I'm going to go back to this camera here. So what I'm going to do here is where there's a pattern, a little bit of pattern here, I'm just barely overlapping it with the new stencil, or just going to just beneath it, so that avoid the numbers, so that there is a there's not a pattern over it, so I'm not overlapping the previous work. It wouldn't be the end of the world if I overlapped, but I'm trying, and I'm not trying to match the pattern. This isn't wallpaper in my world. It's just a background. We're just having a little fun. But it's if you put a little gap, or you know, you make yourself a little bit of space there, then it won't jump out at you. And it's like, ooh, that pattern stopped there, didn't it? Started back up there, didn't it? And maybe it does. Who cares? Who cares? Okay. Oop, nope, out of camera there. Alright. I'm just going to keep on. We don't have as much down here because we're just doing this little bottom section. But I like how it's subtle and yet not. You know what I mean? It's subtle and yet present. That's exactly what I was hoping to achieve with this pale gold. Because then I've got all these pens, these different acrylic gold pens sitting off to the side, and I'm probably going to do something over top of the numbers with those. I don't know if I'm going to do patterns or Zentangles, or I haven't decided. I'm still in that whole what's next. I have no idea what's next. I just know there will be a next. Until I feel like, no, I think we're good. Alright. Let's see here. It's starting to get thick. Might have to add more water. Starting to feel gloppy. You can't have that. Actually, gloppy might be fine. Depending on how it dries, I suppose. Just add a little water to my brush from my little jar. Yeah, that's better. Too pale there, too thin. It's that water balance thing. Just like life, always trying to stay in balance, right? dismount the reveal. Lift it up. Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good. This on here. A little more water. I think I was running out of water earlier, and that's why I was being a little more precise. I felt like I had to be more painterly with it, and I really don't want to. I'm going for pattern-ish. Pattern-ish. We are not a precise painter in this part of the world. Although part of me yearns for precision and photorealism and all of that. But I think that just comes with time. And project. I think some projects lend themselves to that more than others. Mostly I just like playing. This is my happy time, my happy space. My do what I want moment. What do I feel like? Montessori style painting, right? Okay. Bleep. I feel like this 3, it just doesn't have anything down here, so I'm just going to go ahead and cheetah it, like cheetah marks. Yeah, might as well. Okay, back to the overhead. We'll zoom out a little bit. Down. I hate to, but I'm trying to see what's dry, because usually I can tell it's dry by, the shine, but with gold, it doesn't lend itself to that, does it? All right, let's do the top. And to zoom in a bit. Okay. Let's see what we can get accomplished up here without making a mess. Oh, no promises, actually. I'm pretty good at making messes on the regular. Find you a good gold paint you like. I don't care if it's acrylic, or if it's watercolor, or it's a pen, or a gel pen. I think a good gold pen is a good gold whatever is transformative. Takes your pieces from being to woo. Zoom pull the camera back up a little bit. And we're going to go kind of skipping around a little bit because I'm trying to avoid the wet spots, which is good advice always. Alright, so I'm going to go like here, I think. So what I did is I'm overlapping here slightly, but I'm going all the way to the top because I just don't want to have to come back and do that. Yep. I've done a pretty good job of avoiding the numbers. Although down here completely disregarded the 4 and painted over her, but that's okay. We'll forgive the infraction this time. I'm very precise with my paint strokes here. I don't know, go back and forth, don't I? Precise for a little bit, precious with it, and then I ain't. Oh, sorry, grandmother. I know you hate that word. No, you're rolling over in your grave. It'll be all right. It was done for effect. I have any green metallic. Oh, not much. We're just going to move on. I wonder if green metallic would be, or just maybe just plain green, just in a darker color. I don't know. I'm thinking about next steps. Can you tell? I really have to stay focused so I don't drop my brush again. That would be smarter. One thing about painting that I find, which has really been a great thing for me, is it requests that you be in the moment. I started to say require, and that's not true. I think for your best results, you might want to try to be in the moment. But it requests that you be in the moment, which is really great for, I don't know if you struggle with, I'm no doctor, so I'm just telling you my experiences, but if you struggle with overthinking, and it gives your brain permission, for lack of a better word, to calm down for a little while, because you're painting and you can't think about, I don't know, laundry. What you said to the coworker, you know. Well, that shows up in the light really well, doesn't it? Yes, it do. Okay, so got this little section and we got this little section to do. Since this is in shot and this is fairly dry, we're just, dry or not, we're just going for it, people. Alright, so we're going to go there. And we're going to do hand in the paint. That's what we're going to do. And I am not looking for super defined lines and super defined edges here, as I think I mentioned. And you can see that by my painting style. I'm just kind of hitting the high spots, trying not to hit the number. I'm getting general shapes. Even if there's not a lot of pigment even on your brush, it's going to deposit a little bit, and then the act of re-wetting the underlayer is also going to make that, I don't know, change. Okay, that one's done. Now the only one left, I'm happy to say, is this one, and I can't turn it. Sometimes I'll turn my, I'll zoom out, sorry. Sometimes I'll turn my stencil around like this way, but this pattern can't, to avoid this big bulkhead here, because I still got wet paint right there, but can't do that on this stencil, so we're just not going to push real hard up there. We're going to start at the bottom. Yeah, we're going to do that. I go back to one. Nope, can't see much there. Okay. Lickety split. Get this done lickety split. Yep. Going right to the edge, which makes no sense at all because I probably am not going to use it all the way to the edge. But yeah, it's there. I'm painting it, I guess. Oh, painted the two. Sorry. Pulled it off real quick, but it's probably still going to show. I don't care. Sploosh. Take that, you green. Be golded. Be golden. This little spot, this one, that one, that one. We might be done. Dismount. Okay. Let's take a peek-sees. See where we are. Oh yeah. It's all there. All right. See, now those lines of whatever I was trying to get rid of earlier, the blooms and the hard lines, who cares? Who cares? The gold is now taken over, and that was a waste of time, right? Probably. I think when this was still pretty faint, these are still looking a little weirdo to me. I'm just going to touch them up ever so slightly, and I'm not even putting the stencil back, as you can see. I'm just kind of just depositing a little bit more with pigment on top, just to give it more consistent, because I kind of I didn't do enough stirring of it before I started, so that's all I'm doing here is just depositing a bit more shine, and then just looking around for any spots that might be like a little bare. I don't think so. I think that's going to do it. I think that's going to cover it. So now on to, let's let this dry, and then we're on to the next layer. Back in a bit. Oh, this is now dry, and I've pulled out a Pentel brush that I recently got online, and it's sepia brown. It's a brown color ink, and I had to like load this ink cartridge in here and get it flowing. I've not used it other than just to get the ink flowing, so it's a little tiny tip, as you can see, and show you here. Oh, nope, don't want to focus there. Sorry, my bad. Okay, well, anyway, so what I thought I might try to do, I thought it might be interesting rather than black. Is just obviously draw some outlines around these numbers. Oops. So the slower you go and the more tippy toe you stay with it, the finer the line, because it's a brush. And I liked it because of the color. The sepia color, sorry. Frog in my throat there. Closer. Okay. Obviously the pressure matters on your line strength. But I believe it's India ink. It's all in Japanese on the back. So I used my Google Translate to try to figure out, you know, what I was doing here. And that worked out pretty well. But I'm fairly sure this is waterproof, but I guess we'll find out at some point. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else to this piece, but if it's not waterproof, we're going to know pretty quick. Just skip along. When you outline like this, you cure a million ills with your lines when you watercolored the numbers in. Now here, I'm way outside the line on a couple of these places, but I think when you put the line around it, you're just not going to care. I mean, less obvious, maybe that's the better word. Practice when I starting and stopping. See, one of the things about using a micron, a pigment micron pen, like one of these guys, is that starting and stopping is less obvious. But, and I may hate this. I may go over it with, I mean, I don't know. I may go over it with gold, or I may outline it in gold. Ooh. I may start here and then add a gold border to it. I also got a new Pilot gold marker, extra fine. It's got that really tiny gold felt tip nib. So what I might do is do a halo, or an echo rather, I think it's called an echo, outside this black with a sepia line. Told you I'm in my Klimt era. Worst things, right? Which is funny because I don't decorate with gold much. I don't wear gold, I wear silver. But here I am, loving the gold in my art. But what are you gonna do? Nothing. All those places where I kind of overshot the gold, except for right there, that's going to still show, but okay. It's kind of fixing it as if it needed fixing. I gotta stop talking that way. That narrative is not good. There's no right and wrong in art. But you know how you have that vision in your head about how something's going to be? That's the fixing I'm kind of referring to. Polishing. Maybe polishing is a better word. It polishes it up. Squiggle. Alright, what I'm going to probably do now, I'm going to zoom out just a little, and I'm going to probably need to turn my book a little bit just so I'm not, just don't want to make strokes without having a good runway. Okay, come on, paper. It wasn't nice. See, like that. Because when you make a long stroke like that, you're less likely to have those start and stops that look weird. When you do a curve like that, you can just do the curve part and stop. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It's supposed to look handmade. Remember that. I'm reminding myself right now. It's funny because I value things that are, I don't know, grungy and antique and vintage, and those are things that are far from perfect, and those are some of my most favorite things. And I severely dislike, I don't know, patterns that are perfect. And I was moving over here so this could dry over there. I want to stick my hand in it. Probably I'll use a piece of paper. That's what other people do. That would be smart, right? Watch me. Hold my beer. I don't even drink beer. But I value antiques and oddities and things like that, and yet I require perfection out of my own work, which is so silly. But here we are. Warts and all. Boom. Paper's popping up on me, which is not making me happy, so I'm going to hold it down so it doesn't force a thicker line than I want. And not that I'm the world's greatest expert at drawing straight lines, or even lines of the same value, but we're practicing, right? I do like how it's giving a nice edge to the numbers. Ugh. Oh well, keep going. My arm went off the side and it hit a speed bump. We embrace the wonky. I just got through making a speech, and now I'm whining. What a hypocrite! We're going to sit down for a little bit. We're off-roading here, people. In the 4-wheel drive and let's go. now that I've got that, I'm tempted to do it in other spots just to make it look make it look intentionally imperfect. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I gotta put some more speed bumps in my pieces. Or my letters. Numbers. Mercy sakes. It's just a speed bump right here, but it's gold. I'm not sure you're going to see it on camera, but there we go. Boom. You know what? That could have been a happy accident now that I think about it. Isn't that true though? Sometimes the things that we go, oh, ends up being like, wow. Not always, but all right. Number 3. 3 is a powerful number. Yes, it is. Wait, is that song? Is that Sesame Street? Schoolhouse Rock? I don't know. One of those. All my fellow Gen Xers are out there going, it's this. Alright, well, we must speed bump there. Just because we want to. See, that one looks better. The 6 looks better than my intentional speed bumps. Ain't that the way it goes? Yep. Okay. Let's zoom out. Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I want gold. I might want white. Is the outline, the halo. Kind of separate it from the background. Ooh, white. I didn't have a white pen out. Let's see, what have we got over here? Or you could do ivory. That might be even better than white. Pretty sure that's ivory. Or do we do green and then we do ivory? I have a new green here. What color is this guy? Oh, he's really bright. Light green. We're not doing him. Let's see. Let's get ivory out. What's this color? Beige. No, I like the idea of ivory. This is a super old Montana marker back from probably 100 years ago. Ooh, here's a nice olive. What about olive? Sorry, khaki green. And this is English green. Alright, I'm going to set both of those out. I'm going to pull in a token book over here to... Ooh, I've not even primed khaki. Let's see if I've primed English. I haven't. Alright, I'm going to pause this and I'm going to get these primed and be right back. The khaki and the English green green, and English green came out a little, you would think it would come out good, but it came out like a little more, oh, can't see that. Helps with the on camera. This is the English green, and this is the khaki green. And just came out a little too, I don't know, it's probably not showing up very well. Came out a little too shamrocky, a little too mowed lawn, mowed grass. So I think we're going to go forward with the khaki green. This is a size 5, if anybody wants to know. Ooh. I'm not sure if I like this or not. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. Because you know why? Why not? This, I have more control with the Posca than I do with that Pentel. Pentel? What was the brand of this guy? Yeah, Pentel. This little brush pen. I clearly like this nib a little bit better. What's the bleeding? Nope, watercolor paper to the rescue. Well, this is much easier. Posca is much easier for me. But, ooh, yeah, I like it better. I think. Now I think I'll go outside of that and do the ivory. Or beige, whatever. I don't know. I'll figure out another color. I think white might just be a little too stark. The only thing. Oh, definitely making it bold. I was trying to do like an echo without a gap. About half the time overwriting the sepia, and the other half not. But it's bold. May end up being an exercise of what not to do. Or maybe we love it. It reads almost black on the camera, I think, but in person it's definitely a green. But the green can be so dark it reads black. And just like purple and blue. Those can read so dark that they read black. Okay, let's see. Tell you what, that gold is kind of shining through, no matter what I do. Kind of good information, isn't it? It's shining through the sepia. You know, show on screen, but it's kind of peeking through. I wouldn't have thought so. Showing through this too, just ever so slightly, right there on the edge. I don't mind. It's just good information, right? Definitely easier to control than that brush pen. I think I'm going to use that brush pen for some sgraffito. Got some paper laid out. It's probably a project I'm going to do soon, is make some background papers with some sgraffito, and that's kind of where I got that brush, but then I thought, that brush pen, thought it might make a good, because black sometimes is just so harsh. Well, standing out now, isn't it? A man standing in his field. And there goes my blurb. My speed bump is, and just like that, my speed bump is gone. But I feel more confident making marks with the bullet tip like this. Whether you get a 5 or a 3 or a whatever. That's a great tip, is to find something that where you feel confident. But don't be afraid to, at the same time, don't be afraid to try things outside your comfort zone, which is kind of a contradiction, isn't it? Yeah. That's me. Walking contradiction. Okay. Number 8. Sometimes you do layers and they just never make it to the final product, and that's going to be what that sepia pen was. I'm afraid it's never going to be seen. I'll know it's there. Okay. Five is my favorite size. The other size that I like in Posca is the little tea tiny. I don't even know what this size is called. I should know, but I don't. PC1MR. That's my other favorite size. Because sometimes, we got a gold in this. What is this? Yeah, metallic gold. Sure do. Look at that. Because it just helps you put detail. The only bad thing is, look at these really bold colors it comes in. I mean, like, great, but yuck. I mean, not yuck, but you know what I mean. I like working in muted colors. Anyway, I digress. Alright. Do we do the white? I think we do. Do we let this dry a little bit so we don't gunk up our pretty ivory nib? Nah. Let's make sure it's good. Ooh, that's yellow. Oh, I may not want the yellow. I may want white. That's okay. I have 300 whites, so I gunk up a nib then. Okay, I guess white is it. This is good. Let's get going first. Called him audible. How dare you? And now I'm wearing Posca paint. Posca. Alright. Clean up on aisle one. One moment. It's probably about had it, so I grabbed a newer one. God, it would be kind of cool with my lines, though. Do we like it? I don't know. Let's try this. What if we blot it? Pull it back a little. Make it a little more mottled. Yeah? Don't dislike that as much. I don't think I like it. Which means I've got to get my khaki back out. It's nice thing about a Posca though. You can always fix it. Yeah, I had to go a bit fatter on that line. But I can make that match in other spots. I can go a bit fatter on this one. So it looks intentional. That's one of the tricks I learned early on, is if you end up having to do something, do it someplace else or do it two other places actually. Make a total of 3. So we'll do this one too. And then everybody thinks you're a genius. Well, maybe not a genius. Okay. I don't know. Kind of want to make a few more lines thicker now, because your eye goes to those 3. Right? Yep. That gold is showing through. And I didn't think anything would show through Posca. I'm going to lift it up so you can see. Look at the gold on the 7 right there. See how it's showing through? Now, can I come back and put another layer down? Sure. Am I going to? Probably not. Why? Because no need to. I think if I'm going to do white, you know what? I'm going to try. Ooh. I know, it's more gold. I'm not sure it's going to be seen. Okay, never mind. Well, I might just have to do it. I might just be at a point where I don't know what else to do. I don't think it's done, but I don't think it's not done. Is that a silly thing to say? I think it's just a piece that I may come back and work on later and add other things. Maybe I don't. Maybe I leave it just like this, and 2 weeks from now I'll go, oh, I love this. Or 2 weeks from now I'll go, I know what that means now. So either way, we're going to close this out for this time, and thanks for stopping by. We'll see you again soon. Bye.